Hmm. Still nothing.
Man, where the heck is that mail at?
Here's your mail, asshole.
Ah! Thank you. Let's see what we got. Trash. 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 Ooh, here we go. Guys, check it out. My signed photo of PJ Souls finally came in. See?
Who?
PJ Souls, the Totally girl. You know, she was in Carrie.
The original or the remake?
The original.
Don't remember her in it.
Okay. Well, she was in Halloween.
The original or the remake?
The original.
Still don't remember.
Well, Stripes. She had a much bigger role in that film.
The original or the remake?
The original. They never remade that movie.
Give him time. I actually haven't seen that movie.
What, are you serious?
Oh, I know who PJ is!
You do?
Well, yeah, she was in Carrie, Halloween, and Stripes, and other than that, I have no idea who she is.
Well, I don't believe this. How is it that you guys have never heard of her? I mean, sure, she isn't an A-list actor. Most of the movies she's been in have been forgotten and aren't very good for that matter. And she's mostly only played minor roles her whole career. But still, how have you never heard of her?
Well, I think we've built up today's topic long enough. Why don't we start talking about her?
An excellent idea. Pinkie, cue the documentary.
Okie dokie dokie!
Pinkie?
Oops, wrong place!
There we go. Now, we can begin. PJ Souls is one of my all-time favorite actresses. She's been in over 50 films and 7 television shows. But even though she's done so many roles, she isn't exactly well known. Mainly because she's never really had any big roles, she's mostly played as side characters. But that's why I wanted to do this documentary, to just let people know about her. Because she really is a great actress. Anyways, I'm rambling. Born July 17th, 1950, in Frankfurt, Germany as Pamela Jane Harden. Oh, so that's what the PJ stands for. Since her father worked for an international insurance company, PJ grew up living in many different places around the world. For example, Casablanca, Morocco, Maracaibo, Venezuela, I think I said that right, and Brussels, Belgium, where she attended high school at the International School of Brussels.
Sprouts! What?
Before she even thought about becoming an actor, she originally wanted to become the first woman ambassador to the Soviet Union. This changed, however, after a visit to the actor's studio in New York City. So after that visit in New York City, she decided to drop out of college and move to Manhattan in hopes of becoming an actress. She started doing off a bit of modeling for fashion magazines, and a couple of commercials here and there, such as this one for Soft and Dry.
Nervous is meeting your boyfriend's family. All 16 of them.
Nervous is why there's new Soft and Dry.
Soft and Dry roll-on. Nothing keeps you drier when you're nervous.
Nervous is taking your driver's test for the 4th time.
Nervous is why there's new Soft and Dry.
Nothing keeps you drier, yet it never stings most girls, even after shaving.
That's her right there. Fellow classmates.
Nervous is why there's new Soft and Dry.
Then she also did a 7-Up commercial, which is the only other commercial of hers that I could find here on YouTube. Yeah, I don't know if she did any other ones besides this and the Soft and Dry one, but yeah. Here it is.
Undo it for 7-Up.
It's the same thing, only different.
Undo it.
It's a fresher kind of style.
Undo it for 7-Up.
A more natural way of doing things that naturally brings a smile.
To undo it means more style and taste, because the Uncola's a show of its own.
I'd call it the feature attraction.
Yeah, the only way to do it is undo it. 7-Up.
Man, 70s commercials and 80s commercials were just the best.
Yeah, they don't make them like this anymore.
Yeah, that is true. They really don't.
And now for another exciting episode of Oh, Applejack.
Oh, hell no, I'm not watching this again.
Quick, change the channel!
Oh, where's that remote at? There it is.
I suppose some people just aren't cut out to be unholy vessels for Satan. Go figure.
Ooh, perfect!
Hell yeah, I haven't seen this one yet. Now we're talking.
Oh, cold Corona.
Did you guys forget about the documentary?
Documentary? What document? Oh.
During her time in New York, she met and married her first husband, J. Stephen Souls, a musician.
First husband.
Yes, she's been married 3 times, I believe it is, but I'll get into more detail about that later as we move on. Right now, let's talk about PJ's first role outside of commercials. Eventually, PJ got a role outside of commercials, which was on a soap opera called Love is a Many Splendor Thing from 1973. What I find really impressive about this show is that, supposedly, it had well over 1,000 episodes.
1,000 episodes? That's crazy!
But unfortunately, it fell victim to the industry practice, where they would take the tapes of all their original recordings and wipe them clean for reuse. All but 7 tapes are known to exist, so it's practically impossible to see the show now. That is, if you wanted to see it. I did find a few episodes on YouTube, though.
And how is it?
Well, see for yourself.
Why the formality all of a sudden?
I didn't want to bust in.
Why not?
You might not have been here.
I've been home from work from that for half an hour.
Boring!
What's with you anyway?
Yeah, it's not really my cup of tea either. Maybe Rarity would like it. PJ's role in the show must have been really, really small, because on IMDb it just credits her as unknown. I mean, unless that was the name of her character. Be kinda weird, though. On a side note here, when I was looking through the cast members on this show, I found someone by the name of John Carpenter. Looks like these two have been working together long before Halloween, huh?
It's not that John Carpenter.
I know. I just thought it was a funny coincidence. In 1975, PJ and J. Stephen unfortunately divorced, but she decided to keep the last name, which is why she's known as PJ Souls, even after she remarried.
I hate it when people split up.
Yeah, it happens though. Wanting to build her career as an actress, PJ made the big move to LA in 1976, and just at the right moment too, because George Lucas and Brian De Palma, might have heard of them, were just having a joint casting session looking at every teenager for their newest films. You know, just a little old film called Star Wars and Carrie. At the audition, it was Brian De Palma who picked PJ for his list of actors. He told her that at the next audition to bring her hat. At the time, she was wearing this red baseball cap, which is the same exact one that you see in the film. There's actually a funny story behind this hat, at least with me there is. See, the first time I saw the original Carrie, PJ's character, Norma Watson, stood out to me because she always wore this red baseball cap. Even when she's at the prom all dressed up and looking nice, she still has the hat on. Or when she's getting her hair done at the salon, she just has the hat sitting on top of that weird bubble thingy. That hat is what made me notice PJ in the first place. I thought it was both kind of funny and cool on her. I don't know, it's just something about it that made it
Interesting. So without that hat, I might have not become a fan of PJ, and this documentary wouldn't be happening right now. Also, she might have not been considered for the role of the film, so that hat was really important. But what is this, a documentary on PJ's hat or on her? Let's get back to it. So, during the prom scene when Carrie loses her and just starts killing everybody, PJ's character gets blasted with the fire hose, eventually killing her. Well, when they shot this scene, they sort of lost control of the hose and the full force of the water went into her ear and sort of broke her eardrum.
Ouch!
Yeah, no kidding. For 6 months she had a loss of hearing in that ear.
What?
After working together on Carrie, PJ became good friends with John Travolta, who helped her get a part in his next movie, The Boy in the Plastic Bubble, from 1976. However, it was a very small part, even smaller than her role in Carrie. She just plays some student named Deborah, and she just walks up to the teacher and hangs out with the crowd. Probably says one line of dialogue, so yeah. Exciting! However, it is a pretty good movie. I really enjoyed it. It just could have used a lot more PJ. Oh, also, the film has Ralph Bellamy. I think I said that wrong. Anyway, you might remember him from Trading Places and Rosemary's Baby. Also, Buzz Aldrin. He's in this, and he gives John Travolta a signed photo of him.
I got a little something for you, too.
To Todd, champion spaceman on Earth, Buzz Aldrin. Thank you.
Wish I had a signed photo of Buzz Aldrin.
Oh yeah, and Paul Williams did the ending music to this movie. I just wanted to mention that because he's one of my all-time favorite artists. But let's move on. PJ continued to get minor roles in other films such as Bloodbath, The Possessed, which had Harrison Ford just before Star Wars, and Alexander, The Other Side of Dawn. She would have been in a film called The Joy of Sex with John Belushi, but unfortunately he passed away before filming could start, so it was put on hold for quite some time. Eventually the film did come out in 1984, but by this point PJ was a lot older, so they didn't use her in the film. Which is probably for the best, because that film didn't do very good when it came out.
Well, any movie with a title like that doesn't sound very appealing. Sounds like an adult film.
With that film having fallen through, PJ got another minor role in a film called Our Winning Season. And it was in this film where she met her second husband, Dennis Quaid, who you might remember from Inner Space.
Oh, he was also in The Parent Trap with Lindsay Lohan! Out of all his movies, you bring up Parent Trap. I like that movie!
Same here. After that, she got a minor role in Zumba Beach from 1978, which the teleplay was written by John Carpenter, the actual John Carpenter this time. And speaking of John Carpenter, because I haven't said John Carpenter enough, let us segue into John Carpenter's Halloween. So that same exact year, PJ would get one of her most standout roles in John Carpenter's Halloween from 1978. Apparently, I don't want to have to say it again because I've said it too many times. I'll just call him Mr. Carpenter. Wrote the part of Linda Vanderkloft especially for PJ, after seeing her in Carrie and loving the way she said the word.
Totally.
Because Mr. Carpenter loved the way PJ said,
Totally.
he had her say it a lot in the film.
You know, it's totally insane. I'll be totally wiped out. Totally. It totally never shows. It's totally charted. Just totally. Totally.
Oh, this is totally silly.
Yeah, it's totally dark. Well, she's totally not here.
Totally.
And I guess that's pretty much all of them. No, wait. Is that one right there? Hard to say. Maybe.
Halloween is full of many memorable moments, but this one right here with PJ Soles is one of the best ones. Would you believe that this scene was actually not in the original script?
It was completely improvised by PJ, and it's one of the greatest scenes. And I'm not just saying that because of this.
See anything you like?
I drink Dr. Pepper, don't you see? 'Cause it's the perfect taste for me. That original taste, you know, is making peppers everywhere I go. There's potent peppers, toting peppers, cooking peppers, good looking peppers. Wouldn't you like to be a pepper too? Us peppers are an interesting breed. An original taste is what we need. Ask any pepper and he'll say, only Dr. Pepper tastes that way. There's Carrie and peppers, Mary and peppers, diet peppers, quiet peppers. Wouldn't you like to be a pepper too? There's saluting peppers, tooting peppers. Mama the pepper man. Wouldn't you like to be a pepper too? Be a pepper, drink Dr. Pepper. Aye, aye. Be a pepper, drink Dr. Pepper. Yes, sir. Be a pepper.
Now, Halloween is definitely her most well-known role, but I wouldn't say that it's my favorite role of hers. That one is coming up real soon. But before we can get into that, she had a couple minor roles in films such as Old Boyfriends and Breaking Away, which was the second film that her and her husband, Dennis Quaid, were in together. But soon after that, she would get a leading role in what I would have to say is her best movie and best character. I am, of course, talking about Rock and Roll High School.
Rock and Roll High School?
That's right, Joey. Not only does this film star one of my favorite actresses, but it also features one of my favorite bands, the Ramones.
The Ramones were in a movie?
Oh, yes. And let me tell you, this movie is totally awesome. Come on, I'll show you.
Hi, everybody. I'm Rick Randall, and this is Rock and Roll High School.
I'm going to go a little off topic here because I really want to talk about this movie's history, even if not all of it is about PJ. I just really like this film and I want to talk about its history. Think of it as like a mini documentary within a bigger documentary, the PJ Souls documentary, which I'll get right back to, I promise.
Alright, but this video is already close to 20 minutes.
Yeah, well, considering my other videos, I'm not surprised. Heck, I expect this thing to end up being 40 minutes long. Now, most people would say that the plot of Rock and Roll High School is essentially the same as Animal House. A bunch of rebellious students go up against the uptight principal or teachers, and all hell breaks loose. But come on, that's not too similar. I mean, it's not like the posters look exactly the same, right?
I'm Riff Randall, rock and roller.
PJ plays Riff Randall, an eccentric, rebellious teenager and the Ramones' #1 fan. She and her best friend, Kate Rambo, a shy, nerdy girl with an awesome name by the way, have tickets to the Ramones' upcoming show. It's here where Riff hopes to give them a song that she wrote specifically for them. Any guesses as to what that song might be? I'll give you a hint. It's the title of a movie.
Pet Cemetery?
Close, but no, it's not that.
Obviously, you do not know who I am. I am Miss Togar, and I am the new principal of this school. I want you to go to your classes.
The principal of the school, Principal Togard, and her goons are out to put a stop to this evil called rock and roll, and thus madness ensues with loud rock music, pizza, giant mice, the Ramones, and it all finishes off with an explosive ending. Literally.
Gym class called on account of boredom. Got some of my homework instead. Homework? Yeah, for Mr. McGree's songwriting class. I've written a song for the Ramones.
The movie was partially written and directed by Joe Dante, who you might remember as the director of Gremlins 1 and 2, Explorers, and Inner Space.
You know what? That's the second time I've mentioned inner space in this documentary. Right. You know what? That's the second time I've mentioned inner space in this documentary. Maybe the universe is trying to tell me something.
If it's telling you to do a documentary on the movie, it'll have to take a number. We already have 5 other videos in the works.
Oh, right, of course, I forgot. We got that wizard documentary we're working on, and the other ones. I guess just add this one to the list. Take 2. Take 3. Take... who cares? Oh, shit, I'll just do it by hand. There.
Those Ramones are peculiar. They're ugly. Ugly people.
Oh, and speaking of Gremlins, Dick Miller, who you probably remember as Mr. Futterman in Gremlins, makes a small appearance in this movie as the police chief. I swear, this movie just keeps getting better and better. If I haven't said it already, I really like this movie. A lot. Anyways, the film was pitched to the king of B-movies, Roger Corman, as Heavy Metal Kids, based on the song by Todd Rundgren. I probably didn't say that right. Yeah, most likely didn't. But Corman was more interested in making it into a nudie comedy called Girls' Gym.
Which totally doesn't sound like an adult movie title.
Well, I think that's kind of the point. Anyways, after he saw how successful the movie Saturday Night Fever was, he decided to rename the film Disco High to cash in on the disco craze at the time. And isn't that funny? I just mentioned another John Travolta film. He just keeps showing up in this documentary. The film's title Disco High wasn't going to work, since the band that they had planned out for the movie was a rock band and not a disco band. So the film was finally changed to Rock and Roll High School, which is a much better title. Originally the film was to be centered on the band Cheap Trick, who were famous for songs like I Want You to Want Me, The Flame, and Surrender, which is a really awesome song. So it would have been pretty cool to have seen them in the film, but due to scheduling problems, they just couldn't do it. The idea to put the Ramones in the film was actually a suggestion by one of the actors, Paul Bartel, who you might recognize as the teacher in Tim Burton's short film, Frankenweenie.
It's funny to think that he was a fan of the Ramones.
It's even funnier because in the movie, his character doesn't even know who the Ramones are, and by the end of the film he becomes a huge fan.
What's going on here?
I'm giving out tickets to the concert.
The concert? I had no idea the students were so interested in music.
Want to go? Complimentary ticket?
Why, thank you. I love concerts, but who are the Ramones?
The Ramones are the best group in the world, Mr. McGree.
Hey, guys, you know, people say that your music is loud and destructive and lethal to mice, but I think you're the Beethovens of our time.
That was a good one, Mr. McGree.
Surprisingly, PJ wasn't even a fan of the Ramones at the time, which is ironic because the character she plays as is supposed to be their biggest fan. It wasn't that she didn't like their music or anything, she just had never heard of them before. Now, while PJ and the rest of the cast acted great, the same couldn't be said for the Ramones.
Hey, it's Rick Randall, I'm number one fan.
Hey, pizza!
Hey, we're not students, we're the Ramones.
Ramones? Yeah, we're gonna be in town one more day, and if we like them, we'll come pay you, Mr. McGloob, a visit.
It took multiple takes for their scenes, and in the end, most of their dialogue was cut from the film. But in my honest opinion, I don't think they were that bad of actors. They're kind of funny, actually.
I mean, have you seen my acting?
Look, I know you don't want to believe it, but life isn't fair. Bad things happen. Look, just give it a chance, man. You don't want to be stuck in your apartment forever, playing with toys.
Guys, we gotta get the hell out of here! Ugh, I swear, I only get worse as the years go by.
Let's continue. Now, there are way too many awesome moments that I wish I could show you from this movie, but you should really just go out and see the whole thing for yourself. However, there is one scene in particular that I really just have to show you.
Hey, pizza! Great, let's dig in.
Yeah, I want some.
Oh, thanks.
How many times do I have to tell you? No pizza for you, Joey. More wheat German, riboflavin. Yeah, come on, Joey, eat good. See, I'm gonna eat some myself too. Organic alfalfa sprouts. Come on, Joey. Good. Come on, eat, Joey. Good boy. Yeah, Mama, I love you. You like it, huh? Huh? Good. Yeah.
Oh man, I find that scene just hilarious. And then at the end, Johnny Ramone, he just throws his pizza slice at the wall just randomly.
Say hi to Vince for us.
Oh, wow.
I don't even know why he did that. I mean, what was there, like one of those pizza crust bubbles on it or something? I don't know. It's just, that whole scene with the Ramones is the best thing ever. I could watch that 100 times. But let's move on.
Who wants pizza?
Oh, hell yeah. I'll take a slice.
How many times do I have to tell you? No pizza for you. You need to start eating healthy food like wheat germ and organic alfalfa.
Okay, I suppose I could try it. Okay, well, there goes nothing. Oh boy. Ah! No good.
Fine. But when you die from a heart attack, don't come crying to me.
If I'm dead, how am I going to be able to?
Oh, shut up.
Rock and Roll High School did fairly well when it first released, and has since then gained a cult following. Because of this, it eventually got a sequel. 12 years later. Now, the first film isn't really well known, but its sequel is really unknown. I doubt anyone has seen this one. Released in 1991 with Corey Feldman as the lead, from Goonies, Gremlins, and Stand By Me. The plot isn't very much different from the original film. Basically, it's just about a bunch of rebellious students against the uptight vice principal, with the school ending up being blown up at the end of the film, again. In fact, I think they used the same explosion shots from the original film. Now, instead of having an awesome band like the Ramones, we get Corey Feldman's band, the Eradicators. But let's not jump to conclusions here. They could be a good band, right?
1, 2, 3, I'm walking. Yes, indeed, I'm talking about you and me. I'm hoping that you'll come back to me. I'm lonely and I can be. I'm waiting for your company. I'm hoping that you'll come back to me. Yeah.
Well, it's not that bad, but it's no Ramones, that's for sure.
No kidding.
Oh, you know what? I almost forgot. The Ramones actually do make a cameo appearance in this movie. As a poster. And a mug. Heck, it's like really actually having them in the movie. But joking aside, it is pretty cool that they at least reference the Ramones. Hell, there's even a poster of The Cure on the wall, which is another one of my all-time favorite bands, by the way. Unfortunately, PJ doesn't make an appearance in this film, not even as a poster. The only returning actor is Mary Warnoff, who played Principal Togart in the first film. I guess she's reprising her role here, but for some reason she goes by the name Dr. Vader now, and she has a robotic hand claw thing.
I'd like to speak to you about your announcement, Dr. Vader. Don't you think the new rules are a bit unreasonable?
I mean, after all, kids are kids. We can't expect them.
I've been hired to do a job. That job is to restore discipline. Your job is administration and academics. You do your job, and I'll do mine.
Yeah. And they never mention how she even got that robotic hand claw thing. I mean, I don't remember her losing her hand in the first film. Unless I missed that.
Maybe Luke Skywalker cut it off.
Mary Warnoff is probably the only good thing about this movie. I mean, she's just having so much fun with her character. She's able to be both scary and silly at the same time. I can tell she had a lot of fun with this movie.
You got me out of bed for what the hell is this? We could be buying books for the library.
Books! Who needs books? We have 10,000 volts of current!
Those rock and roll delinquents, they're dead meat.
You were so right, Dr. Vader.
Kill. Pick on somebody your own size. Principal scum.
Okay, so let's see. Who else was in this movie? Oh yeah, Mojo Nixon. You probably remember him from the Super Mario Brothers movie as Toad. Well, he makes a quick appearance in this film, though he doesn't exactly help the movie.
Come on, bud. Well, the five principles always in your face, telling you what to do. That brainless wit can kiss my ass. Yabba dabba do.
Ah, that's better.
And speaking of the Super Mario Brothers movie, there's a scene in this film where they randomly mention Dennis Hopper.
They meet one of the coolest actors there ever was. Dennis Hopper!
I just think it's a little weird that they would mention Dennis Hopper, because in 1993 he would later go on to play as King Koopa in the Super Mario Brothers movie, alongside Mojo Nixon, who played as Toad. Overall, I really love this film. It is without a doubt one of my favorite movies ever. I mean, it's entertaining, it's funny, it has a great soundtrack. Not only does it feature Ramones music, but it also has Alice Cooper, Devo, Chuck Berry, and all these other ones that I'm forgetting to mention. Yeah, it's a great film. It has PJ Souls, one of my favorite actresses, and the Ramones, one of my all-time favorite bands. So, yeah, this movie was like made for me, I guess. But as for this one right here, yeah, it's dog shit. Lastly, a remake was announced in 2008, with actor-writer Alex Winter writing the script. You probably know him as the guy from Bill and Ted and Lost Boys. Anyways, it's 2015, and I still haven't seen that remake yet. I guess he's just taking his time. Well, that concludes our Rock and Roll High School portion of the documentary. Now let us return to our main subject, PJ Souls. After having a leading role, PJ went back to a minor role as Wanda Winter in the movie Private Benjamin from 1980.
What's your name, soldier?
Private Winter, ma'am.
Uh-huh. Outstanding, Winter. Outstanding.
Actually, she almost wasn't in this film at all. You see, originally Arthur Hiller was supposed to be the director, and he had hired PJ as well as the rest of the cast. But then Goldie Hawn, who was the star and producer of the film, replaced him with Howard Zieff, and she wanted an entire new cast.
So she got rid of everyone? That's a bit mean.
I know, right? How can you fire PJ? But I can't stay mad at Goldie. I mean, she was in one of my favorite movies of all time. But PJ wasn't going to let that role get away from her that easily, So she went back to the auditions and was luckily able to get her role back. With a catch. You see, Goldie didn't want there to be any other blondes in the film, so that's why PJ's beautiful blonde hair is covered up with this wig. But it looks good on her. Sort of. Like I said, her role in this film is pretty minor, so she doesn't really have a whole lot to do. Basically, her character is just sort of the big the group. Yeah. After Private Benjamin, she got another minor role in Soggy Bottom's USA from 1981 as a songwriter. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to see this film yet, so I can't really comment on it. Maybe another time. So after that movie, PJ decided to join the army again with her next standout role, 1981's Stripes, which was directed by Ivan Reitman and starring some of my favorite actors, Bill Murray and the late Harold Ramis and John Candy. I still can't believe both of them are gone. Anyways, I think pretty much everyone has seen this film. Well, everyone except for Twilight, that is.
I'll watch it after this, alright? I'll bring the popcorn!
In this movie, PJ plays military police officer Stella, Bill Murray's love interest. Now again, it is a pretty minor role, so she doesn't get to do a whole lot in this film. But she does get to use a machine gun at one point, so that's pretty cool. And now for some random fun facts. Fun fact number 1. Did you know that the uniform that PJ wears in Stripes is actually the same one she wore in Private Benjamin? Since she already had a military uniform made out for her, they just decided to use the same one. Fun fact number 2. Originally, Harold Ramis didn't want to be in the movie, so PJ's husband, Dennis Quaid, tried out for his part. But Ramis ended up being in the film anyways, because Bill Murray said that he wouldn't do the film unless he was in it. Fun fact number... Oh, I guess that's it. That was short. Speaking of Bill Murray, PJ and Bill had pretty good chemistry in this movie, which is the main reason why she got the role in the first place. Writer-producer Brian Grazer noticed this chemistry and wanted them for his newest film, Splash. So he gave the script to PJ, and she absolutely loved it. Bill Murray, on the other hand, not so much. In fact, he refused to even read the script. With no Bill Murray, the parts went to Daryl Hannah and Tom Hanks. Which is too bad, because this could have been another one of PJ's standout roles.
Oh, that's too bad. I think PJ would have been really good in that movie.
Although her role as a mermaid may have swam away, Thank you. PJ was actually able to get a leading role in another movie called The Awakening of Casey. Or is that Cassie? Either one. From 1982. This was a romance theater movie, and from what I can tell, it wasn't very good. I haven't seen the movie myself, since it's really hard to find. It is on VHS, but I don't really think it's worth looking for, even if it does have PJ. In 1983, PJ's husband, Dennis Quaid, was co-starring in the film The Right Stuff. During the filming of this movie, PJ got close with Skip Holmes, who was one of the stand-in pilots. That same year, PJ and Dennis would unfortunately divorce, and she would marry Skip home, making this her third marriage.
Oh, that's sad, but I guess third time's a charm, right?
Yeah, sure. PJ would continue to get roles throughout 83 and 84, some of them minor, some of them leading. These movies were Sawyer and Finn, The Other Woman, Innocent Prey, and Listen to the City. But all of these movies are very, very hard to find, and not much information is available for them. So, I guess that's pretty much all there is to say about them. Heck, I don't even know if they're on DVD or VHS, so yeah. It wasn't until 1985 when PJ was in a movie I actually have. Sweet Dreams, the story of legendary country singer Patsy Cline, as it says right on the front cover. It's a lot like the more famous film, Coal Miner's Daughter, which was about Loretta Lane. PJ's role in this film was minor, which I'm sure is no surprise. She plays as Wanda. No, not that Wanda, a different one. She's the girl that Ed Harris's character was with at the start of the film, but forgets about after seeing Patsy Cline.
So sweet and tender, like petals fall apart. Thanks for bringing me, Charles.
Later on, though, she returns hoping to have a little fun with Ed Harris, and this is at a point when him and Patsy were married, so yeah. Her last two films during the 1980s were much bigger roles, such as in Saigon Commandos and BORN, both films from 1988. Saigon Commandos looks okay, judging from the one trailer I was able to find on YouTube. As for the other movie, BORN,
which stands for Body Organ Replacement Network, by the way,
which is the only bit of information we can find on this movie. I can't find it on VHS, DVD, no clips on YouTube, just the one poster. So who knows what this movie's like?
doesn't sound like something I'd be into. Sounds interesting to me.
Yeah, it sounds awesome. Maybe we could find it on eBay. Throughout the 80s, PJ would also make a lot of guest appearances on TV shows, such as Airwolf, Simon and Simon, Hardcastle and McCormick, Cheers, and Knight Rider. When the 90s came around, PJ continued to get minor roles in films such as Alienator from 1990, Soldier's Fortune from 1992, The Power Within and Out There, both from 1995, and finally Uncle Sam from 1997, which also co-stars Isaac Hayes, who you might remember as Chef on South Park.
Whoa! This one looks awesome! A slasher movie where the killer is Uncle Sam! We gotta see this one!
Oh, don't worry, we will. In '94, there was a made-for-TV movie called Shake, Rattle, and Roll, a movie that took place during the 1950s when rock music was considered
the devil's music, corrupting the minds of the youth and destroying mankind as we know
it. In a way, this movie is sort of a rock and roll high school reunion, because it has PJ, it has Day Young, who was Kate Rambo, Mary Warnoff, who was Principal Togard, and Dick Miller, who was, well, a cop. According to this movie's IMDb page, PJ plays as Evelyn Randall, Day Young plays as Kate Rambo Sr., Mary Warnoff plays as E. Joyce Togard, and Dick Miller is a cop. So are they supposed to be playing as their ancestors to their characters from Rock and Roll High School? Since this movie takes place in the 50s and that one took place in the 1980s?
I don't think these two films are actually in the same universe. It's just a reference to Rock and Roll High School.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Still, it's a cool little cameo.
And the movie itself isn't too bad. If you like the 1950s, then I recommend seeing this. Another interesting role PJ had in the 90s was in a movie called Little Bigfoot from 1997. Now, I haven't seen this one yet, unfortunately, but I can tell just from the trailer that it's going to be really good.
From Stripes and Private Benjamin, PJ Souls, Little Bigfoot.
A movie about a baby Bigfoot? I'm sold. Guess I'll add it to our list of films to see.
After her encounter with Bigfoot, PJ and Skip Holm unfortunately divorced the next year in 1998.
Not again!
Yes, I'm afraid so. But they did have 2 kids, a son named Jeffrey Sky Holm and a daughter named Ashley Brooke Holm.
Did she marry a 4th time?
No, I don't think so. But you never know, she could. The last film PJ did during the 90s was called Jawbreaker from 1999. From what I can tell, it's very similar to Heathers from the 1980s, a dark high school comedy. Darren Stein, however you say his last name, who was the writer and director of this film, was a very big fan of Carrie and Halloween, so he really wanted PJ and William Katt to play as the parents. William Katt was the guy who had the bucket fall on his head in Carrie.
Anyone ever tell you you have a dark sense of humor? You think so?
Now, since the world didn't come to an end in the year 2000 like everybody thought it would, PJ continued to act, but unfortunately none of these roles really stood out as much as they did in the 70s. She was in films like Mirror Mirror 4, Blast, Kept, and all these other ones. I don't really feel like saying the names to them all.
Interesting title for this one.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend seeing that one.
Or this one. Talk about awful.
In 2003, PJ would sort of reprise her role as Riff Randall in a music video called Too Bad About Your Girl by the Donnas. I guess they were pretty big fans of Rock and Roll High School and of PJ Souls. You remember how I said PJ was on that film Jawbreaker? Well, the Donnas were also in that film playing as themselves. So I guess they must have met on the set of that film and they just asked if she wanted to be in their newest music video. And while we're on the topic of music, a rock group known as Local H named their 2004 album Whatever Happened to PJ Souls, which is obviously a reference to PJ Souls. There's even a song in the album simply called, well, PJ Souls. It's an alright song. But then there's a band called Latex Generation who had a song called Whatever Happened to PJ Souls, which I think is supposed to be a tribute song to Local H's album. And lastly, there's a band called The Breakdowns who had a song called Sweet Pamela Jane. So in total, PJ had 3 songs written about her. Impressive. I don't even have one.
So, you remember how I said in the 2000s none of her roles really stood out?
Now, since the world didn't come to an end in the year 2000 like everybody thought it would, PJ continued to act, but unfortunately none of these roles really stood out as much as they did in the 70s.
Well, I kinda lied. You see, there is one role that kinda stands out in the 2000s.
Let me guess. Minor role?
How did you know? Seriously though, what makes this role kind of stand out is because of who gave it to her.
You've all heard of Rob Zombie, right? Musician, filmmaker, loves horror movies. He's a pretty cool guy. Anyways, he's a huge fan of John Carpenter's Halloween, which in turn, he's a huge fan of PJ Souls. So when he was making The Devil's Rejects, he really wanted her to be a part of it.
Being a huge fan of PJ myself, I would love to have her in one of my movies. In fact, I'm actually working on a script right now. Slasher film, of course. And I was just kind of hoping maybe I could have her be in it.
Good luck with that.
Hey, you never know. I could probably get her in it. Right? Oh, what do you two know? Anyways, with Rob Zombie being such a big fan of PJ, I assume he gave her a really good role. Right?
Stutter.
Jamie, get in the car. Lock the door.
Where the hell you going? Damn it. Don't you never turn your back on a clown when he's talking to you.
Get hands off of me!
Oh, Sid Haig, you're so funny. Definitely have a dark sense of humor.
Well, after PJ was done getting punched in the face, Rob Zombie asked if she could sign a few posters and DVDs for him. I mean, I'd probably do the same thing too if she was on my movie, though I'd probably be too shy to even ask. After that movie, the two became pretty close friends.
Yes, 'cause nothing says friendship like a punch in the face.
When Rob was turning 40, he invited PJ over to his birthday party. She really wanted to give him something special, something that he would really, really like. But what could she give him? A life-size Godzilla statue? The moon? How about an army of battle droids? I know I would love all those things. But then she remembered that Halloween was his favorite movie, or one of his favorite movies. So she looked through all her old scripts and found her original Halloween script from 1978. She wrapped it up and that's what she gave him. Lucky bastard. The next day, he called her up and told her that it was the best birthday present that he ever got. He absolutely loved that present.
Aw, that was real nice of her.
And you know what? That present is probably what inspired Rob to do a remake of Halloween, which he did a couple years later, and then a sequel in 2009. Whether or not that's a good thing, I'll let you guys decide. And isn't it weird that he would do a remake of Halloween, yet he didn't have PJ Soles do a cameo or anything? And while we're on the subject of Halloween, 2006 was the 25th anniversary of the franchise, and to celebrate, a documentary was put together with PJ Soles as the narrator. Pretty cool.
Today, PJ continues to act, mostly independent stuff though. Her last film she did was 13 Girls, which is set to release sometime in 2015, according to IMDb. And if I'm lucky, maybe she'll be in my movie.
Keep dreaming.
Yeah, thanks for the support. So she may not be as well known as Kurt Russell or Paul Hogan, but you know what? I don't think she really minds being a B-list actor. Or would she be considered a C-list actor? Oh, whatever. In my book, she's an A-plus actor. Man, that was really cheesy, wasn't it?
Now I can't say for sure, but I think she just really enjoys being in movies because, honestly, they're just fun to make. And you get to meet a lot of interesting people. That's one of the big reasons why I want to make movies.
I thought you said it was to become rich and famous.
Shh! Don't tell them that, otherwise they'll never donate to our Patreon. So, no matter the film, whether it's a big Hollywood production, a cheap horror movie, a made-for-TV film, or whatever the hell this was, she would always give her best and would have fun with the role. She just seems like a really easy person to work with because of how nice she is. It's like she wanted to be everyone's friend.
Like me!
Yeah, sort of. And that's why she's one of my favorite actors. It's not because she has amazing acting skills or because she looks nice. It's just because she genuinely seems like a really good, honest person. I wish I was able to explain better why I like her so much, because that just sounds a little too simple.
But maybe it is that simple. I never knew anything about her, but after this documentary, she really does seem like a good person. Yeah, she seems like a really awesome person!
Well, I'm glad you guys think so too. And that's why I wanted to do this documentary in the first place, to just let people know of her and the work that she's done. If any of you watching are interested in seeing some of her work, then here are my recommendations. The first is Carrie from 1976. This was PJ's film debut. The second is Halloween from 1978. This was probably her most famous role. The third is Rock and Roll High School from 1979, which I believe is her best role. I highly suggest seeing this one. The fourth is Stripes from 1981. This is probably PJ's last role that most people would recognize her from. And the last is Shake, Rattle, and Rock from 1994. Now this wasn't a big role for her, but it did reunite her with Day Young, Mary Warnoff, and Dick Miller, all of which were in Rock and Roll High School.
Well, I think we've pretty much covered everything there is to know on PJ Soles. I hope the best for her career, and maybe we'll get to work together one day.
Maybe one day you will. You never know, right?
Yeah, right. And maybe one day I'll be a famous filmmaker. That's too good. Anyways, let's find a place to put this thing already. Yeah, that looks good there. Now then, I do believe we have a certain movie to watch now.
All right, put it on. I'll get the popcorn.
I was in love with you, but I'm trying something new. You don't need me now. I knew it was too good to be true. I knew that we'd both lose, and you've let me down. It's time to say goodbye, 'cause I've learned how to fly. Don't wanna see you anytime soon. All tensions then out here,
Hey everyone, and welcome to my very first end slate. Yay! You're probably wondering, what the hell is an end slate? Well, it's basically a title card thingy that you put at the end of your videos, where you tell people to subscribe and like, and you recommend videos, and just all that other stuff. So yeah, I decided to start doing my own end slate. It's actually inspired by Yuri of Wynn's end slates, who is the best at doing end slates. I love his just rambles that he does at the end of his videos, and I thought I'd try my hand at it. Much like him, I'm doing this unscripted. So if I ramble on, you know why. I did write down some notes, though, of important stuff to mention. That way I don't go too off topic. So yeah, let's talk about what this end slate is. You'll notice at the top of this that there are 2 videos playing. These are the video recommendations. The first one on the left is the first episode to my Some Guy in Pinkie Pie show. That is the Rocket Raccoon documentary that I did, I think, like a couple years ago. No, I don't know how long ago it was, but it was a long time ago. So that's the first episode. Check that one out to see where this whole crazy series started. Yeah. And the video on the right is the second episode to the show. And that one is, well, it's not very good. At least I don't think so. It's definitely my least favorite, but since there's only 3 episodes, not much to choose from. It's the only other video I can recommend, since I only got 2 episodes, including this one, so 3. But yeah, those are my video recommendations. Let's see, what else is there? At the bottom, there are links. The first one is to my Patreon account. It's basically a tip jar where you can donate any amount of money you want, like $1 or $10, whatever, to help support the show. So yeah, if you like what I'm doing and you want to see more, you want to help improve this show, then go ahead and click that link right there, and you'll get more information about what exactly that is. So yeah, check that out if you want. You don't have to. I'm not forcing you. Yeah, let's see, what else was there. Next to that is a link to MissBunniSwan's YouTube channel, and she is the one who provided the voice of Pinkie Pie and Twilight in this video. And I just want to say she did an amazing job. She's a great voice actress. She's definitely one of the best Pinkie Pies I've heard here on YouTube. And I was really lucky to have her help me out with this show. Yeah, she did a great job. And I just want to say thank you so much if you're watching this. You really helped make this video 1,000 times better. You're definitely the best part of this video. And I know you recorded your lines a long time ago, like last year, and I'm sorry that this video took so long to get made. I did my best, and my best wasn't very good, but I got it done eventually. And hopefully you enjoyed this, because I would really like to work with you again, because I would like to continue this series. So I definitely need somebody to do the voice of Pinkie and Twilight in future episodes. But we'll talk about that later. I just want to say thank you so much. And all of you watching this should definitely click the link here and check out her YouTube channel, because she does a lot of voiceovers, a lot of great voices. So yeah, click that right there. What else is there? Oh yeah, in the right bottom corner, you'll see the Pinkie and Twilight plushes that I used in this video. And you can actually buy those at Fourth Dimension Entertainment. They're the ones who actually made these plushes. I'm not endorsed by them or anything, but I just felt like since they're such a huge part of my series, I advertise them to you guys because they're really great plushes. They're the best My Little Pony plushes that I've ever seen. I love them. So if you want your own, head on right over to their website and purchase your very own Pinkie and Twilight. You can also actually pre-order Rarity and Fluttershy right now, who are supposed to release sometime in the spring, I believe. I already have them pre-ordered, so eventually when I get them, I'm going to incorporate them into this show. So, yeah, that's something to look forward to. And I think that's it. Yeah, that's pretty much everything on the end slate. Let me see, was there anything else to mention? Well, I just wanted to talk about a little bit about why this took so long. I don't want to get into too much detail, but basically, while I was editing this video over the months, the power decided to go off in my house while I was editing, and I lost the entire project. Luckily, I didn't lose all my footage and recordings and all that stuff, but the edit that I had been working on for like 2 months was just destroyed. It was gone. So I had to start from scratch, and that was really, oh man, that just really hurt, because that was a lot of work to lose. But I needed to get this video done, so I just did it again. And then my computer's hard drive decided that it was full, so I couldn't continue editing until I got an external hard drive, which took a while to save up some money for, but I got an external hard drive and was eventually able to finish this video. Thank God, because this was forever to put together, but I'm glad it's done. I think it turned out pretty good. It's definitely the best of my videos in this series, but I'll let you guys be the judge. That is, if anyone is watching this. Hopefully someone is. Anyways, I guess that's it. I'm kind of rambling on. This end slate's going on for too long. So I'm just going to say thanks for watching, and a huge thank you to MissBunniSwan again. Thank you so much. You made this video 1,000 times better than it would have been. So hopefully we get to work together again. And that's it. See ya.